Namaskar, Mabuhai. Welcome back. The Soul Yatra unfolds today is unfolding about a very ancient science called Mudra Science, which deals with our health. The word mudra basically means posture. But posture of what? This is the posture of fingers. Now, might sound crazy, right? How are fingers going to fix our health? But yeah, that's what we are going to learn today. Mudra, which is gesture, has been discussed since I think the evolution of mankind in Hindu scriptures and our ancient practices. It's well marked in yoga, in tantra practices, or I would say a little bit metaphoric practices. It is also specially advised as a cure form when we use Ayurveda, because Ayurveda just doesn't deal with your oral medicines, but it also advises yoga, postures, pranayams, meditation, etc. And mudras are used in all of them. Some of the most ancient scriptures where we see this, and when I say ancient, these existed more than 5,000 years ago. But in early years, what we have seen that these knowledge were not written anywhere. They were passed on from generation to generation orally, which was called Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means speaking and Smriti means remembering. But as we moved into later times, I think the human capabilities reduced and these began to get documented, and that's where we began to see a lot of scriptures around them. So some of the famous ones are Hatha Yoga Pradipika. This is about 15th century CE. This is written by Swami Swatmarama. In fact, in chapter 3 of this book, we see the Mudra Bandha. Now that's another science, Bandha. We will have a separate episode for that. But it describes about 10 mudras which can be used in our daily life, which could be key to our health, both physical and mental. Another famous one is called Gheranda Samhita. So this is written by Rishi Gheranda, and this is a comprehensive manual on yoga basically, with 7 limbs. There are different schools of yoga. And in this chapter 3, it lists 25 mudras, and which are used for body and purification and spiritual awakening. Another one which is supposed to be very old, because it is supposed to be orated by Shiva to Parvati, the Lord Shiva to Parvati. But it has been documented around 14th to 17th century CE. It's called Shiv Samhita. How does it work? The science of mudra involves the study of specific hand gestures and positions of our physical position body, which influences the body's energy flow and our physiological functions. So the first principle of Mudra Science is that while the body is composed of that, the 5 fingers, they associated one of the 5 elements. The thumb associates with fire energy. The index finger is associated with air energy. The middle finger is associated with space or ether or akasha, what we call. The ring finger is earth, the material body, the material earth we live in, and the little finger is associated with water. Now, based on this, there are various postures given, mudras, for specific challenges what we could have, or specific doshas what we want to cure. Do we want to focus on air energy? Do we want to focus on fire energy? Based on that, these postures have been described. Now let's look at some of them in examples. So for example, Akash Mudra, which means the space posture. Now, remember I said the middle finger represents space, ether or Akash. So if I had to hold my hand like this, I have formed Akash Mudra. Okay. Now, what does Akash Mudra do? Let's look at that. This gesture is known to bring in patience, resilience, and calmness in. And the reason is that space is very wide. You could travel so much, and you could be not stable. Bringing this into control brings our mind into one static place rather than going into too many places. So what I'm trying to say is that when you are on the move, your ability to be calm and to be centered is less, and that's what it helps. It must be done with a straight posture. Our spine always has to be erect. That's a basic fundamental rule. There's a very profound reason for that, because the prana, what we breathe in, completely flows through the spine. And remember, the spine has both the right channel and the left channel, which relates with the solar and the lunar energy. So being straight is extremely important, sitting with a straightened posture. It is also important that we sit with our legs squatted like this, so that the whole body forms a circle. Some of the benefits of Akash Mudra is it relieves you of sinus pain. It induces centeredness in the nervous system, in its cells of the nervous system. And one of the key impacts of that is our hearing aid. So it actually helps our, if we had any kind of challenges with hearing, it aids our hearing capability. Another example I'll give is called Prithvi Mudra. The third fingers represents me as my material body or Mother Earth. It represents the earth. So this would be called the Prithvi Mudra. This mudra improves an overall flow of prana throughout our body. It takes away laziness. It balances the earth material in me, the earth element in me. It takes away fatigue. If you are feeling very fatigued, this could be a miraculous recovery of that fatigue. It heals the body tissues, all because it deals with the earth material. So it helps our muscle spasm. It heals deep tissues in our body. Cracked skin, fracture in the bones, might be surprising, but hairline fractures could actually be addressed through Prithvi Mudra. The density of bones and brittle nails could also be, not could, it can actually be fixed by doing this. But remember, it has to be done daily. It has to be done for fixed 20-25 minutes. And the results will be seen, but you won't see it in 1 or 2 days. It has to be done for a specific time to get the outcome. Another example is Surya Mudra. So Surya Mudra is also done with the third finger, but the difference is this thumb is what we call the fire and earth element is we. So Surya Mudra is to balance that within us. So in this case, what we do is we do like this. So just to clarify, in Prithvi Mudra we did like this, but in Surya Mudra we do like this. Now what does Surya Mudra do? It's fire. Digestive enzymes are controlled by that. So it maintains the metabolism of the body. If you have metabolism or digestion issue, this could be one of the best mudra to address that. Surya Mudra actually increases your body temperature. So it can release from your cold, cough, anything which needs more fire, heat in your body. On another note, it also takes away anxiety and nervousness, and it builds in self-confidence. There are two mudras, Shankh Mudra and Linga Mudra, which help your cough, cold and throat. So Shankh Mudra is this, and this is Linga Mudra. So what it does, if you see in both the mudras, if I do Shankh Mudra and if I do Linga Mudra, in both the mudras, this finger is the fire element, and this basically works around until this area. And you know, this area is connected with our lungs. So if you had to anatomically see, the nerves here, they connect with our lungs. And what happens during cough cold? It is our lungs which has got too much of water, infection, and it has got too much of liquid, cold, cough. And the bacteria breed in that. So what basically Mudra Science does, it fixes it from the root, which is called the quantum therapy. Where will bacteria breed? In water, in liquid. So do you kill the bacteria or you just eliminate the water? What do antibiotics do or medicines? They kill the bacteria, but the water still remains. So there is a possibility that you would fall sick again. But if you had to completely dry out that water, you've cured it forever. So if I had to do like this, my entire pressure is coming here, and I'm holding this finger, which is the fire. And when I sit like this, it slowly starts to increase fire in my body, but where? Specific to my lungs. It causes a lot of heat, and the water there starts drying up. And you have to trust me to believe that this is something which I tried. And I was shocked and amazed that I actually was able to fix it. It didn't happen in one day, but in just 3 days of exercise, my whole breathing problem and the heaviness I was feeling and the mucus I was spitting out actually cured by almost 70%. And you know how I want to share that experience. When I did this, initially was okay, but after 7 to 8 minutes, it actually started now hurting me. I began to feel the pain, the stress. But that's what you need to survive, because the moment you start feeling the discomfort and the pain, that's when it has begun working. The heat has begun. And here is another factor I want to add to Mudra Science, because as I said, I was so curious, so I began to study about it more, and this is where I correlate. So if you study quantum physics, basically quantum physics is very focused on interconnectedness. About what? Interconnectedness emphasizes the connection of all things. It says there is always, if there is an outcome, it's a result of it being connected with something else, and hence the entire cosmos is connected with each other. That's a very core fundamental of quantum physics. It suggests that basically everything is a part of a larger unified field of energy and information. Another principle of quantum physics is observer's effect, in which quantum physics demonstrates that the act of observation can influence the outcome of a quantum event. And let me go back to this observer effect. So basically, what is it telling? It is actually telling by observation, right? What we said, that there is an outcome. Now, what doesn't this relate with the role of consciousness and attention? Isn't that what all spiritual practices say? Whether it is Mudra Science, whether it is meditation, whether it is breathing or yoga, everything says about attention, and everything says focused, and everything says you have to be unified in what you are doing. And we were talking about interconnectedness, right? So the potential connection is all about quantum field, right? Quantum science is based on that field where that energy is manipulated through mudras might be understood with the framework of quantum fields. And finally, it's really aligned, because what is mind-body connection? All Mudra science says, yoga science says, meditation says that our mind-body must be connected. This emphasis is what's seen in quantum physics, where thoughts and mental states can actually influence physical reality. And finally, on the quantum physics theory, I'm really fascinated by it. So the last piece I want to say, there is something called QOM, Quantum Observation Meditation. So it says that it explores that how deliberate attention can influence mental states. This draws parallel to all mudras, which are believed to focus on energy and attention and make a change in our lives. So the departing message I would have for you all is, please try this. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't need for you to travel anywhere. It doesn't need you to, take a special step. All it needs for you is to be where you are. Remember, the spine has to be erect. If you can, at least you can do in a sitting posture, it will still give you results. So do try it out. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So leave them and any feedback if you have. And look forward to many more videos with more interesting stuff. Meanwhile, thank you. As always, like, subscribe and share.